Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Yeah.
Happy Monday. Woohoo! Made it through the weekend. All got back to studio. Some of us had to fly back. Congratulations to me for making it. Everybody have a good weekend?
Smooth.
Yeah.
Okay, that was very heartfelt. Let's get this bad boy started. The only real way a basketball show should be started.
Let's lead it off with the Spurs.
San Antonio Spurs sitting nice and pretty at 7-2. Nice little win over the weekend over the Rockets and the Pelicans. But the De'Aaron Fox return is obviously the big story that we can focus on. So we'll get to that specifically in a second, Lou, but I just want to know from you, have you seen enough to think, maybe, perhaps they could contend this year?
Lots of potential. Lots of potential. I'll start with the pros and the cons. The pros, I think they have a lot of young talent, got a lot of guys that you can build with and around in that organization. I like Coach Mitch. I like him being young. I like the nucleus of what they're building. Are they prepped right now? It could be one of those scenarios where they can contend for a title right now as young, but they still got some growing pains. You know, this still is a team that shoots early in the shot clock. You know, they're going to run up and down. They're going to turn the ball over. They're going to take gambles. They're going to take a risk on the defensive end. In a 7-game series, y'all know you got to clean those type of things up. You know, but sometimes when you have a young team and they don't have as much experience in the postseason as other teams, they can work in your favor or they can work against you. Right now, I'm still trying to figure out which one is which for the San Antonio Spurs. But as far as them having talent and having everything that's needed to make a playoff run and make a deep playoff run, I think they have all the tools there. Now, whether they put them in the right positions, in the right places, that's going to be up to them, but the potential is definitely there.
Yeah, I think they have enough to get there. I think they have enough to compete. Are they the favorite right now to win a championship? No, there's too many other good, experienced teams, but they have it all. When you watch them, they have playmaking, they have shooting, they have size, they have length, they have depth. They're basically the sixth in offense. They're sixth in offense and they're fifth in defense. And that fifth in defense would be number one if Wemby played more minutes. So they're a versatile team. They play so hard. They have a nice combination of vet guys. You know, when you have a guy like Olenek, you got Harrison Barnes, you got guys like that have had that experience, combined with a bunch of youth and a bunch of athletic guards and playmakers. And it's all centered around Victor Wembanyama. So they do have it all. There's a lot of other teams I think they're going to have to go through. It's going to be hard for them to beat in a 7-game series this year. It reminds me of OKC a couple years ago, where they are on the way. Just don't know if they're there yet, but they're going to be a tough out for whoever they get in the playoffs because they can do it all.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, I agree with everything you guys said. Young, talented team. They have a great spirit to them. Well-coached, well-knitted group. As far as, you know, being a contender as of right now, the talent is off the charts. Obviously, experience isn't, you know, as high as we would like it to be at this point in time. But this is a scary team, and, I mean, I don't think any team in the West would like to see them, you know, throughout the playoffs. So everything is on the right with this team moving forward. I would love to see a Western Conference Finals matchup between them and OKC.
Yeah.
I think it would be much watch TV. This is probably one of the most exciting Spurs teams in a very long time. I know you know that.
I'm just going to say it.
High-flying team. They play fast. They share the ball. It's a beautiful game to watch when this young team is on the floor. So I'm excited for this group. And adding De'Aaron Fox just, you know, it was a lot of questions about, you know, how would it look, but he literally came in the game and made this team even better. So
I think we forgot how fast
that's impressive.
it was.
Oh, yeah. But we're talking about title contention, right?
Yeah.
Not a good team. We're talking title contention. Can they contend for a title, right? When they beat you, they're 7-2 right now. When they beat you, they're going to whip your ass. But they're also top 4 in points allowed. So when it comes to the playoffs and we want that matchup, you can't let OKC put 125, 130 on the board and think you're going to beat them. That's going to be a hard route. You can't do that with the Denver Nuggets and some of these veteran teams. So those are some of the things that they got to clean up, they got to shore up as a young basketball team. But when you look at them on paper, you look at them on screen, they check all of the boxes for sure.
And when we talked about the Western Conference since training camp, how good, how deep it is, and you have some teams that have really went the other way with Dallas Mavericks, the Clippers, you know, Memphis is really struggling. This is the opposite. This is a team that is going to continue to get better. They're going to continue to grow together. This feels like the Oklahoma City Thunder 2 years ago, where they're building this around this star. They have all this talent. They have so many picks. They have so much depth. They just plug a guy in. like Champagny, who not a lot of people have heard of, now he's starting hitting huge shots for these guys as a valuable piece of this team. Luke Cornett hasn't even really played, but he's going to be a catalyst on that second unit when picking him up from Boston. So they have so many other guys just to plug and play, and it's spooky similar to the OKC team built around an MVP caliber player with SGA. Same thing here with Wemby.
Yeah, Champagne's become like a fun little spark plug. He obviously loses his starting spot now, but who cares? Second spot comes in, he hits threes, and you're like, all right. De'Aaron Fox, this was a great one. They waited till the second game of the weekend to put him in, which I thought was awesome. 24 points in 31 minutes. And yeah, look, part of what we do here when we talk about basketball is we got to think of things to say, right? And sometimes you make problems where there might not be problems. And maybe we're doing that with De'Aaron Fox. And, well, what happens? But it seemed to be all right.
This is what's funny, and we were guilty of it as well. With the media, we try to create this narrative, right? That, you know, he's going to get lost in the shuffle. They have too much talent. They have too much depth in the guard position. And he may be the odd man out because Dylan Harper is the top draft pick. And Stephon Castle has handled that point guard position great. And he just comes, doesn't say anything, and was the best player on the floor. And his first came back and you know, 24 points and 31 minutes, looked healthy, looked fast. And I just love that this one performance kind of stopped all that and nipped that in the bud. And we quickly remember how good and how valuable this dude is on this team and any team he's going to be on. So I love that. And like OKC, is it a problem that they have too many assets and they have too? No. So I hate that narrative that we did. And everyone did it because the Spurs were so good without him. But they're going to be so much better with him. He's an all-NBA type guard. He's an all-star level point guard. And he's going to make this team that much better.
Yeah, why do we do that? Like,
no, I don't know. It's an interesting thing. And the only time you make that argument is when it doesn't work right. Like, this is a sample size. This is one game. But obviously we know what De'Aaron Fox brings to the table. And we've been talking about this San Antonio Spurs team before he even got in the lineup, how talented they were. So when you add somebody like him to that lineup, that's a plus for me, especially in today's game where you got so many like-sized guys on the floor. Like, you might look up and have a team with 2 or 3 guards or like-sized guys out on the floor. That's an asset to me, especially when you have Victor Wembanyama at the rim that can rim protect for you, that can score. It's going to be a lob threat. It's going to be everything that you need. I think this is a good thing for them to have Castle, for them to have Harper when he comes back, for them to have Fox. You just got a bunch of weapons in your artillery, especially when you're a team that plays 9 guys in double-figure minutes anyways. You're winning by committee. You're winning by having a lot of different guys on the floor. Castle is showing you I can be that playmaker that this team needs. Fox is showing you, well, I'll be the attacker. I'll be the attack guy. And think about what that does for them on the defensive end. All of these guys have defensive pedigrees where they can sit down and they can guard guys. They can guard at 1 through 5. And if they can't, we got Vic back here. Yeah. We got Wemby back here. It doesn't matter. So I think talent is a premium, especially with a young team that's trying to build. So I thought he looked good. I thought he looked seamless. You know, we'll make a case about 22 of his 24 points being with Castle off of the floor. That's balanced to me. That's a balanced attack. I don't look at that as a problem. That is a balanced attack. When one of my better players go off the floor and I still got a guy that can go off and maintain this game and make sure we don't have a lot of negative waves while he's off the floor, and this is my younger guard that's going off the floor with my veteran guard stepping in and saying, yo, I got it until we all get back in the starting lineup at the top of the third quarter or whatever their minutes are. I think those are all positives for them. So I don't make much of, you know, him doing his thing when Castle was off the floor. I think they're going to do it by committee, and they've been doing it.
It's also just funny to me, like it's a luxury to have this depth, and then now that they have it, it's an issue because it's an overload at the position. But then like the Knicks don't have enough. It's like you can't have it both ways. And this team, I'd much rather be in this situation that they're in, that OKC's in. The problem is when like the Champagny now goes to the bench, right? Mm-hmm. You know his boys. Damn, man, they were 7-2 with you starting. Now, you know, I mean, that's where kind of all this outside noise.
14-4 with them on the bench.
I'm just saying that's like all this noise comes in. That's really just cross that bridge when you get there and enjoy living and playing in this moment right now on a really good team that you're a valuable piece on. It's like OKC, Cason Wallace, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins. These guys don't get the credit they could deserve if they were putting up 20 a game on another team. But you also wouldn't be as relevant as you are now on a great team in the role you on. So I hate when these these kids get distracted by all this outside noise when they're in a great situation right now. Just cross that bridge when you get there. When you're a free agent, let your agent do that work. But right now, just understand the role.
Champagne still had a good night.
Yeah.
Great
Castle
night.
still had a great night.
Super effective.
But you know how
Fox
that is
had
now.
a
You know
great-
it's like
had a great night.
is he going to be the odd man
But we
out?
made this, but this argument was being made before Fox even got back in the lineup, right? And so
Yeah.
now that he's back in the lineup and we've seen that it can work, null and void.
I think it's a perfect situation. By
I
the way,
think it's a perfect situation for me. Is it's when I watched De'Aaron Fox join this team, what I saw on the floor was a calm veteran presence.
Sure.
They got all this young talent, but you got to kind of have that closer, that guy that when the game is on the line, and outside of Wemby, who's going to be, the main target and also in certain situations, a distraction. But with that being said, you got this calm and veteran presence in De'Aaron Fox that's going to come down, make big shots, make all the right plays, make the big plays in the moments that are needed. And that's what I saw. And you also add a guy like Harrison Barnes, who's also another great veteran presence that's played at the top, that's played on championship teams. I think it's a perfect
Kelvin
group.
Johnson.
Yeah.
Sohan,
he is the
Sohan
energy.
showed up.
Yeah.
Like
For real.
he had a good night. So again,
been working on some
when you
things.
start going down the line of how many guys that can step in and play well for this team,
Yeah.
I don't see that as a problem whatsoever.
We
I
haven't
think
even
we're
mentioned-
confusing, like, you know how sometimes, look at, for example, the Clippers. They collect really big name players and put them all together. I feel like we're confusing that kind of team building with a
Yep.
team of not household names, or at least not yet.
Oh, they're household names.
Well, they're going to be.
Building.
OKC's the same way, right?
They
Like,
feel
they're not
more
all
household
household
names.
They
names.
feel more homegrown
It
in
feels
this
like a
situation.
team.
They've been there forever, and they care about this team, and they're
Yeah.
not just a signing of free agency,
But
although some of them are.
Collecting.
Doesn't feel
This
like
is the
that.
new pedigree too.
But it's also the style of player that you're putting the team together. When it comes to a team like the Clippers, you're putting 3 ball-dominant players together and expecting
And
the
superstars.
ball to flow and it to be this this offense where everybody touches the ball. That's not the case. With this Spurs team, this is the type of person that they have. They don't have ISO players. They don't have ball-dominant guys. They have guys that move the ball, play within the system, and these are the results.
And you know what? And still, at the end of the day, your best player is a 7'5", 7'6", 7'7", whatever you
Whatever
wanna
he is
put on him.
today.
Whatever he is today, that's still your best player. So the name of the game is just to put as many guys around him that's going to defend and can put the ball in the basket around him, period.
Yeah, and think about the Castle experience. Like, he's playing out of position, kind of like Thompson is from Houston with Van Fleet out. You know how valuable that experience is when you get to start off as a point guard and play those type of minutes and have the impact that he's had. Now Fox comes back, he doesn't have to do that, but they know now they have the luxury of putting him there
lovely.
when Fox is out. They have the luxury of going 9, 10, 11 deep when they're fully loaded. So I think Castle has done a great job kind of holding down the forehand point guard. He's not going to ever be that true, pure point guard, but man, just to have that experience while Fox was out, I think was great for his development.
I think it's been amazing. By the way, we've got to talk a little bit of Wemby because his numbers are a little bit down the last 4 games. And the big issue seems to be foul trouble. Defenses perhaps have figured a little something out. He's fouled out twice, by the way, already this season, Boogie. What do you do if you're Wemby? If teams are, and they should be, figuring things out, what is his next step then?
Adjust accordingly. I mean, that's what this game is. There's always going to be some type of adjustment being made and needed to be made. So I mean, this kid talent is through the roof. As far as trying to figure out how teams are guarding, I think that's going to continue to come along with experience. He'll handle situations where he's getting guarded differently, better as he continues to gain experience. So with all that being said, it's not too much to worry about. Like we've been saying this whole segment, this is such a loaded team that all the pressure isn't on just Wemby to win games for them. They have so much help, they have so much talent that on a considered 17-11 isn't considered, a bad night.
Just
But
down from what he started.
on a
That's it.
down night, if we
Yeah.
saying this is a down night, he has so much other talent to, hold that fort down.
Yeah, and as consistent as these other guys can be, that's going to change the coverages on Wemby. Right now, they're throwing every coverage at him. They're
fair.
throwing the double teams, triple teams at him. They are making Castle, who's shooting 24% from 3, beat you. They're making these other guys beat you. And so now when Champagnie and Harrison Barnes and these guys are making 40, 45% of their threes, defenses are going to have to adjust on how they're quick doubling Wemby, and that's going to give him more time, more space to go and do freakish things that we've seen him do. So I think the faster they play, which is going to come naturally with Fox, is going to help open up his game, let him get going early, let him get the defensive rebound and take it out in transition, kind of get to that Euro, use his length and get to the basket. Playing faster, I think, is going to help him. The half court, he's not going to be able to play one-on-one. He's too good. The teams are scared of him. They are going to double team him. It's when the other guys consistently knock down jumpers and space the floor and cut and move without the ball. That's when his game is going to open up because you're not going to be able to double team him when everyone else is contributing.
15 minutes on the Spurs, guys. That felt good. I really like that for us.
Too much.
Okay, fair. Let's move on then to the Lakers. How about that? But this won't be as positive. Pretty bad loss to the Hawks by 20. And the Hawks didn't have Trae Young, Jalen Johnson, or Kristaps Porzingis. No Reeves for the Lakers, but it's probably the worst loss of the season. I think that's fair to say. Boogie, when you lose a game like this, what do we do with that?
You move forward. This is a team that's started off pretty hot. Obviously, you have your slumps throughout the season, but you keep moving forward. These type of games happen. This is a long season, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be more games like this down the road. But you keep moving forward. You keep building. You keep the goal in mind, which is, obviously competing for a championship at the end of the year. But like I said, these type of losses happen. You just keep moving forward, put this loss behind you. Short-term memory, and you move on to the next.
Yeah. When you look at the start they had with no LeBron James, Luka in and out of the lineup, Austin Reeves in and out of the lineup, 7-3, it's a hell of a start for them, and they're going to continue to get better when they get fully healthy and fully loaded. And they found something. They found something with Marcus Smart, kind of throwing him in there. DeAndre Ayton has been more consistent. Jake LaRavia, now you're hearing that name more and more. So they're finding guys of what they can do with this team, and when the guys are fully loaded, when they're fully healthy, we'll see their real, rotations and kind of their roles to come real. But it's a great start. Like if you told me right now all the issues they've had that they're 7-3, there's always going to be bad loss. There's 82 games in this season. Like there's always going to be stinkers like this. I don't even know if you watch film on something like this. It was so bad. I think you play them one time probably in 3 months in LA. Like, who cares? You flush this one. You look at the bright side that right now you're 7-3 and you're not even close to being fully healthy, and you're going to continue to get better and better.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip the script on this one. I just think they got caught slipping. They played an Atlanta Hawks team that before that game was 3-1 with Trae Young being out of the lineup. They've been playing well. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you can get tricked into it when you look and see Porzingis is out, Trae Young is out, Johnson is out. Oh, we'll be fine on this one.
Easy night.
Yeah, and what you run into is a group of guys that are hungry. Yeah, that are hungry to continue to win. And I think that's what they ran into with the Atlanta Hawks. I don't put too much stock into this game. I think they got caught slipping.
They probably had some lemon pepper Lou the night before. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? But
why do you have to say it all creepy though? Like when you do it, like what?
Yeah, who knows? But that's their prerogative. But on the basketball side, on the basketball side of it, I think they just ran into an Atlanta Hawks team that's hungry to get that name straight in.
Prerogative. Yeah. Well, JJ Redick has no time for any of these reasoning moments because he was not happy about it afterwards. Here he is.
Was there a moment in that third quarter that you realized that this was not going to be one of those nights where at least your first unit was going to get that?
I realized that in the first 2 minutes of the game.
What did you see in those first 2 minutes?
Nothing.
By the way, that whole post lasted like 2 minutes total. They had just come off of a 5-game winning streak, by the way, Lou, but he does not handle losses well. What do you think about that? I don't like it.
You know what? I didn't love it. And if I'm a player, I don't really love it, especially.
Really?
We're in a good run. We're in a good season. Like, let's not overreact and do this.
Interesting.
Like, we're not having our way in this season. Like, we're having a pretty good season. And JJ should know as well as anybody, these type of nights happen. These type of games happen. Now, his reaction can be his reaction. But if I'm one of the players and I'm one of the guys that's playing for him, I'm not really feeling that reaction. Like 2 minutes within the game, and we still got 46 minutes left to play. So you telling me in those first 2 minutes, you knew that we weren't gonna have a good game, or you didn't see nothing out of our performance. Some of that is your responsibility as well. If you don't see us having the juice and having the energy that we need, or we're not executing the way, then put us in those positions. That's what your job is too. So kind of the attitude towards it, I didn't love it. Sometimes it is on the players. Sometimes it is on the coaches. Sometimes it's a collection. I felt like in Atlanta it was a collection. So for him to kind of dish it off. I wouldn't have been feeling it as a player, but, you know, both of these guys can tell you it's a lot of long nights in the NBA, and everybody ain't going to agree. You're not going to be happy with everybody's attitude every single night. So it'll be one of those things you have a conversation with JJ. I'm sure he had a conversation with them for sure, and then you get over it and you move on.
It's just funny to me because he left the booth doing what we did to go coach this team, and now he's got all this gray hair and all this stress,
like being a president.
Yeah, like I'm with Lou. Like, I don't think you need to overreact in a situation. It's the 10th game of the season, and again, you guys are off to a pretty good start for what the situation is. But on the flip side, you do respect it, and he's a guy that wears his heart on his sleeve, and he cares, and he, you know, he's not sleeping nights. He's watching film. He's trying to find ways, which every good coach should do. I just think there's a time and a place for this, and who knows? Maybe I've had coaches before that, you know, after a bad loss, they've come in the locker room and then they'll say something to you, and then they'll go to the media, and it's kind of a different tone,
like
but they just want to get the message. Exactly. Yeah. So, like, you never know what's really going on here. If he pulled in the guys after in the office the next day and said, listen, this is why I did that, like, there's could be a method to his madness, but it did seem a little overreactive, but I think they're going to be fine.
That was like Duke, JJ.
Like, you gotta know the personality of your team, right? Like, again, you off to a 7-3 start, and then your coach goes into the post game and acts like y'all are 0-10. You know, it's kind of like, damn, coach, like, we can't have a bad night. You can't have a bad night. We can't have a bad night. What's up with you, bro?
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, like, what's up with you? Like, and so, depending on the personalities of that team, this can linger. Like, if Luka decided that he wanted to be offended by that, this could be a lingering problem that you don't necessarily have. And so, but he has every right, you know, to react how he reacts as the head coach of that basketball team. But if you're off to the start that you're having, I felt like his message could have been a little better. And like, I'll say this about, like, T. Lue was one of my coaches, right? Never gave a post-game speech to the team. Never spoke after games, because he said for him, emotions are always running high. Yeah. And he'd rather talk the morning after.
After watching film.
Yeah, after watching the film, everybody calms down. He'd rather has the conversation after, so emotions won't put you in a position that's not helpful or productive to the team. Sometimes these aren't productive, and sometimes they can light a fire up under you as well. And so, depending on the personality of your team, how this message gets perceived in the locker room.
I'm gonna disagree with, you know, both of you guys when it comes to this situation. The reason I say that, we're talking about a Lakers team, and we've seen them in the past. You know, they've had different coaches and whatever the case may be, but for the most part, in the past, they started off slow a lot. You know, even throughout the season, they started off slow. They had to, you know, pick up steam throughout the season. This is a season where they started off pretty hot, and I think that's part of the identity of who J.J. Redick is. That aggressiveness, that assertiveness, that, you know, emphasis on, you know, playing the game the right way from start to finish. And I think that's credit to why this Lakers team has started off as hot as it has. Also, when they, you know, I appreciate a coach like this. I want a fiery coach. I've played for fiery coaches. It matches, you know, who I am as a player. My high school coach, Otis Hughley, the same way. My college coach, John Calipari, same way. And I think, you know, that identity of a coach carries over into the team where, you, like you said, you have a Lakers team starting off the way they did. But I've also played for, you know, Hall of Fame coaches that are, you know, falling asleep on the bench during the game. So,
who's that?
You know, for me, I appreciate this, you know, and
so you wouldn't be offended or bothered?
I wouldn't be offended at all. I love the fire. I love the emphasis. Like, he's on his team.
Coach.
Yeah, I think this is great for this Lakers team, and it's also part of the reason they started off as good as they have.
Let me ask you this question.
Yeah, I know. I like the Hall of Fame coach that fell asleep. More about that.
I mean, I play for a Hall of Fame coach.
Why do you keep doing the Hall of Fame?
Give him his flowers. It look like you want to give him his flowers.
Yeah, and he was falling asleep during the game.
Well, look, let me ask you this though, Boogie, as a player, right? I love a fiery coach too. I like a coach that can light a fire up under my ass. But do we love it in public like this?
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Like, I mean, we're all athletes, we're all professionals.
Because you set the standard.
If this is the worst, if that's the worst.
Standard. But no, I don't think that's the worst. But if this is the standard you're going to set when we have a bad night.
That's a great standard. Because you brought up the Clippers, and I also played for Ty Lue. Yeah. And it would be games where we would come in where we play like complete
and you need
crap,
something.
And it's, all right, see y'all tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
It's no urgency. And we look at how these Clippers teams is playing out, and it's getting worse and worse by the year. And I love Ty Lue. Yeah. I think he's an incredible X and O guy. But sometimes sometimes that laid-back approach carries over into the team, and then you have a laid-back team. And every time the game starts, every time it's clutch moments in the game, they're still laid back because that's the identity you've created. That's the standard you created for your team. So when you got a fiery coach like JJ, I don't like this. We played like crap. I knew in the first 2 minutes we weren't ready to play. That's because that's their identity this season.
That's your coach's identity. So again,
A coach's identity carries over to the team's identity.
You mentioned Ty Lue, right? Your personality. You don't need nobody to tell you had a bad night.
Nah.
You know you had a bad night. So you got a coach that come in there, you ain't responding well to that shit right after that game.
I might.
Depending.
I just might.
Depending. But we also know it can go.
I mean,
it can go the complete opposite ends of the spectrum.
I mean, that's with anything.
Yeah, for sure.
That's with anything. That's besides the point.
So, but listen, so
the Clippers need JJ. They need JJ and Redick's approach right now.
Here. I'm just saying, as far as the coaches, and you're a 7-3 team. I'm okay with my coach lighting into us in the locker room, and then he go out into his press conference and say, you know what, we can have a better night. I'm okay with that. He cursed me out for 15 minutes after the game, in private, in that locker room. Hey, y'all didn't have it. Y'all look like trash tonight, and we got to get better. Hey, tomorrow practice.
You just lost to a team with 3 starters out.
Yeah, and you ain't the first team that lost to them.
Yeah, but
we're
not.
They 4-1 before that.
I'm not going to discredit Atlanta.
But that's a caveat too.
I'm looking at it from JJ's perspective with this team that started off hot. You come in, you lay an egg with a team that's missing 3 starters.
Yeah,
I'm pissed.
But we didn't see
I
fire.
realized it in the first 2 minutes.
I didn't see fire. I saw dismissive.
That was just frustration.
I didn't see fire. I saw dismissive. So if my coach is like,
really, you don't see fire in that?
I saw
fire.
No,
I didn't see fire. Fire to me is help me understand if I'm a person of the media. Help me understand if I'm a Lakers fan. Help me understand if I'm a casual basketball fan. What didn't you see in the 2 minutes?
You said casual. They're not going to understand.
But that's you right about that.
Yeah.
You make a great point.
They're casual. They're not going to understand.
Okay. Well, if I'm in the locker room and I'm one of your players and I'm looking at this, what didn't you see in the 2 minutes? What didn't you see? Instead of just saying, I didn't see nothing, and then you storm off. That's not productive either. So fire and being dismissive are 2 different things. That's what I'm.
My point is, too.
I agree with what you're saying.
I don't think Luka is seeing this and being like, "Damn, that was a shot, or that was personal." I think this is more directed at the Aytons, the Laravias, the more
can't make a separation.
It's to the team.
I think that is a sense of urgency. We have expectations this season, and I'm not going to let it go on anymore. This first 2 minutes was unacceptable. And by the way, they were missing 2 or 3 starters too. If you think about it, with Austin Reeves, LeBron, Gabe Vincent, they're missing guys too. So you just can't have this let up against a team that you know you should be, everyone else thinks you should be, and you came out here and you played like shit. I'm gonna let you know about it. I think as long as there's that balance and that dynamic. Not necessarily Ty Lue letting it go to the next day. I think there's a time and place for that. Like JB Bickerstaff used to do that too. When we'd get our ass kicked, and he would bring it in. He'd say something, but he'd say, "I want to dissect the film before I get into this because you know what I mean."
Because emotionally, you can take it somewhere that it don't even need to go.
But then some nights he would also let us have it and just be like, "Look, this was unacceptable," especially when it came down to effort. And this, I feel like that was because effort. This wasn't X's and O's.
You know what this also was?
As a coach, when it comes to effort, that's the most frustrating thing to do. Even
as
a player,
you
can't coach effort. So those are the types of results you're going to get when the glaring problem in the game was we just didn't give a lot of effort. It wasn't we didn't make shots. It wasn't, we didn't make a good move or we didn't defend. We just didn't have effort. Those are the types of responses you get when it comes to effort. That was an effort game.
You know what else this game was? It's a reputation game, too. It was in Atlanta. If this game was in Oklahoma or somewhere else, we're not even having this conversation.
That's true.
But this is an Atlanta game or a Miami game or a New York game. Players know these are the games that you can't cough up.
Yeah.
Because coaches are already coming in at shoot around. Coaches saying, "Oh, where y'all was at last night? What y'all was doing?" So that probably has something to do with how dismissive he was in this post game as well. This is a reputation game.
They definitely played like they had a good night in Atlanta.
This is a reputation game. And if they did, you can't blame them.
Yeah, can't blame them. We only go to Atlanta
you go once, so I'm going to get it off.
I need a quick grade on the Lakers right now so far. Chandler, you first.
B+. Like, I think about it. They're 7-3. Right now, if it ended, they have home court advantage, and LeBron James hasn't played, and their other 2 best players have missed half the games.
Yeah.
I don't know how much better they could be right now for what they've thrown out there on the courts. I think they've had a hell of a start, and I think they're going to continue to get better, and they're going to be there.
B+. Anybody got better or worse?
I got an A.
A.
I give them A. Yeah, this is a great start for them. This, like I said before, this is a team that's in the last recent years they've started off slow almost every season. To come out to this hot start, to create this new standard for themselves. Obviously, you got your 2 stars in Austin Reeves and Luka holding the fort down. Till your 3rd star comes back in LeBron. I think this is a great start for them, and they can only get better from here.
And think about what we're saying. We're all giving them A's and B's, and that's why J.J. Redick was that fiery or whatever, because he sees
fire. He said
saying,
one-word answers. That ain't fire. Y'all stop saying it's fire.
Okay, Lou, that's why he's pissed. Okay, that's why he's pissed off and frustrated, because he knows how good this team can be and how good they've been to go out there and play like shit and get blasted by a team that they shouldn't. That annoyed him.
Fire.
I think that frustration was only
yeah,
about
that's normal.
standard. It was only about standard.
Don't yell at me for 10 minutes in the locker room and then go on national TV in your presser and act like you ain't got nothing to say with this smug look on your face. That's all. As a player, depending on my mood and how we're swinging when we on that road, because you know we are moody people on these roads. Everybody dealing with something, and if I look up and that's my coach, in the morning, I might have an issue too. You ain't the only one in here mad, JJ. What's up with you, dog?
Well, then you all have talk.
So if I'm grading this team with all of that still, I still give them an A- B+ for sure.
Okay, there you go. We're gonna take a very
good
quick
grades.
break.
These are the best grades we ever got.
I know Chandler's like, I'm a genius.
He's getting degrees.
Run it back, run it up, run it back.
All right, we got a little panic button situation. Hey, why are you doing that already, by the way?
I know.
You go first, whatever it is.
I'm telling you right now, I did a little sneak peek. I'm panicking on all these teams.
Okay, well, he's changed, so I'll go ahead and get this thing started. All right, we've got Dallas Mavericks. I think we know what's going to happen here. 3-7. 2 of their wins came against Pacers and Wizards. Make of that what you must. Some people picked them to win it all this year after drafting Cooper Flag. Who are those people, by the way? Name them. AD's been out for a while, expected to be back soon. Are we hitting the panic button, Boogie? You first.
Hit it one more time.
He's like a no-brainer.
Let me tell you something. This team does have a lot of talent. They have some expectations. Obviously, Kyrie Irving is out, and he is going to bring a whole dynamic that they don't have. I'm panicking because, number one, it was one of the worst trades in the history of the NBA to trade Luka Doncic, and that stems and that frustration is still there in that building, in that organization, in that crowd. So no matter what they do until they win a championship, which they're nowhere near, being 3-7, and dead last, basically in the Western Conference, they have an issue with their GM, and no matter what they do is going to be wrong until they get rid of Nico Harrison. I truly believe that. I think he has dug himself too deep of a hole, and I think this fan base will never forgive him for trading Luka Doncic, especially when you're 3-7 and you have a historically bad offense right now, and you're playing your number 1 pick, your future franchise piece out of position, and it's just not working. You're 30th in points per game. You're one of the worst defensive teams. You're one of the worst. You're 29th out of 30 in offensive rating.
That's not good.
I'm panicking, and that's because if Kyrie Irving was on the roster, I don't think they'd be in this situation right now, because I think they'd be, a contender. Honestly, I think he's that good. Without him, they are doomed. And
Well, he comes back in the winter, perhaps, maybe. Does it matter?
No, I think it's bad.
Yeah, I don't like anything that's going on in Dallas right now. I mean, obviously with Kyrie being out, that changes a lot for this team. Same goes with Anthony Davis, but just the moves moving forward, I don't feel like it's a real identity. I don't think it's a real plan moving forward for this team. Like, obviously you drafted Cooper in placement of Luka leaving. Great, that's cool, whatever. But now you're also in a year of trying to develop a rookie out of position as a point guard, on top of only talking about having championship aspirations. It's just, the plan is kind of all over the place with me, and it's not really a clear plain sight on what you're trying to do moving forward. So I would definitely panic.
I can't imagine being Nico Harrison. Like, I'd be like, can we get a buyout situation? Like, this is awkward. It's gotta suck to go to work every day. But all right, let's just say they fire Nico today. I know there's obviously talks always around him that's a possibility. Does that do anything, though? Does the fan base calm down? Like, is it at least quiet them?
Yeah,
I'm telling you, this fan base is
I think they'd be happier.
pissed off.
At least that's done. Those chants are done.
He can do nothing right. Like, this slow start has nothing to do with Nico. This team, as is, without Kyrie Irving, still people had as a good team, right? And they had the big front court. They added D'Angelo Russell. Klay Thompson's been struggling. No one saw that coming.
Well,
Cooper Flagg's going to be the savior. The play on the court has nothing to do with Nico Harrison. It's just the overall vibe and the attitude and just the frustration that still stems from that trading their guy. They're never going to get over. I'm telling you, I know people there. They are never going to get over it while he is working there. So I think that's got to happen. I think it's going to happen soon.
Okay, let's keep it moving. Lou, you're up first on the next one. The Los Angeles Clippers. I don't know why we're saying it's a surprise because I feel like it's not. But 3 and 6, they've lost 4 straight, back-to-back losses to the Suns. What do you got? Panic button? You hitting it?
I'm not panicking.
Whoa.
Yeah, hold on.
Whoa.
Listen, I'm not panicking because I still really do believe in Kawhi Leonard and James Harden as the leaders of that team. Now, they are aging, very old team, but some of that age is Chris Paul. He's not in the lineup. You know what I mean? Brook Lopez is playing 8 to 10 minutes. He's not having, a bunch of those minutes. I think they might be playing too many guys. They're playing 9 to 10 guys every night. You got to find 7 to 8 guys that's just gonna go out there and compete. And you gotta figure out a way how to keep Kawhi Leonard on the floor. If you keep Kawhi on the floor, the 3 games that they have, he's been the three wins that they have. He's the caveat to that. He's the person that's gonna lead that charge. But as long as he's in street clothes, you're gonna have nights like this. You're gonna have starts like this. They gotta find a more comprehensive way to try to keep him on the floor. Until then, I'm not completely panicking because this is also the same Clippers team that figured it out late in the season last year as well. We've also seen that part of their identity. I'm not completely panicking, but this is not the start that you want to have in the season. Go ahead, Boogie, do your thing.
Go ahead, Boogie. Yeah.
Not the people's elbow. I'm panicking with you.
I'm panicking.
Why both elbows, Boogie? Why both elbows?
Good Lord.
To me, this is an investment that's basically fizzled out. I think this window is closed. I think this chapter is done. Huge fan of Kawhi, huge fan of James. They've had, incredible careers there continue. But as far as this team, where it's at, it's over. It's over. I think a lot of this falls on Lawrence Frank. He's changed his team every single year. It's hard to ever really build a contender or chemistry or anything when it's a brand new team every single year. I don't know why we're talking about firing Nico. I mean, this guy.
You want another chance?
I mean, this guy should be on the chopping block at some point. Like nothing has happened. Every season they're getting worse and worse, and it's. Like I said, it's just an investment that's eventually fizzled out. I think, they're keeping big names to keep tickets going. It's over.
I think that's exactly.
I don't like it.
The last point you made was great. They have this new, shiny, unbelievable arena, and I think that was, a priority was to keep these big names, right? The moral of the story is this is an older, slower team. They're 30th in pace, and they can't score in the half court, and they simply cannot score without James Harden pounding the ball and getting to his ISO, or Kawhi Leonard creating his own shot. They're 23rd in assists, 24th in turnovers, 27th in points per game, and they're dead last in pace. That is just not a good offense, and they are a terrible offensive team in the half court, and they can't play fast because they are the oldest team in the NBA. So, and to top this all off, they're a top 5 or bottom 5 defensive team. So they're not doing anything good. They're not doing anything elite. And again, they are, like Lou said, they're trying to space out the rotation, play certain guys. Chris Paul's now out of the rotation. So they do have a little depth, but they're a bunch of older, aging guys that are out of their prime. And again, they simply cannot score without James Harden or Kawhi Leonard creating their own shot. They don't have no ball movement. They have no flow of their offense. Their best offense is to miss an ISO mid-range shot and let Zubac get on the offensive glass and tip it in. Like, they just have no flow, and the West is too good for them to compete.
Can I say this though, y'all? Because y'all did. Because of the first segment, y'all did mention the Clippers when it comes to a 7-game series against San Antonio. Do you look at that? Do you look at the Clippers in the postseason against one of these young teams in a 7-game series?
Who's playing?
And you think,
I think they're a little scary in the playoffs.
If they're all playing.
No, they're not.
Just a little bit with the experience.
And I think you said it, Boogie. I think you was the person that said it.
That experience, slowed down, possessions matter, half-court offense. I think
that's why I'm not panicking.
Obviously, based off the numbers, every possession sucks.
It's bad possession. And I still would take the Spurs.
Hey, Boogie, I want to say I love having you on this show.
I mean, what
love having you on this
talking
show.
about playoffs. They might not make it through the regular season.
Filter.
Yeah, they got to get there first.
They're last in everything.
They are literally last. fast and everything.
But if they can put a run together and get in the
Come on. Next team, man.
Don't break it. We still got the Pelicans coming up.
As long as Ty Lue there, as long as Zoo there, as long as Kawhi there.
But Kawhi's not always there. That's the whole point. You're asking for a lot.
Yeah, it's all
man.
What's more likely, trip to the, I don't even know why, Western Conference Finals or a nice early vacation? Bug, what's going on?
Cancun on 3.
We gotta change that Cancun, though. Nobody goes to Cancun.
Yeah, Cancun.
They should.
I mean,
I
Cabo,
Listen,
yeah?
we're
having the same
They're
conversation.
We got
over and
Utah.
over
We got
again.
Utah at 11. We got Memphis at 10. You got Phoenix at 9. I think they can walk that down. We 10 games in.
You're doing play-in.
We 10 games in.
No, we're talking about the finals or miss the playoffs. Not get into the play-in. That means they
Look at it at a different angle.
As it stands, man. Don't do
can't.
this to me. Y'all know that's my. Y'all
You
know
can love T. Lue
y'all
and
know that's
still
my
be
people.
honest.
Y'all know that's my people.
T. Lue, we got love for you, but y'all suck, man.
I can't sign up to that.
Based on
sign up
the
for
numbers,
that.
my favorite quote of the day. Based on the numbers, every possession sucks. We're gonna go.
Numbers
to
don't lie.
I got more on the other side.
Let me go over this again.
You are the numbers guy, Chandler.
Well, let me go over this.
Run it up, then run it back.
Can we get some
You
justice?
guys, we have Pistons. Don't look now. Doing all right, sitting up at the top there. Let's
That
talk
was
about
the
it.
play right
Oh,
there.
goodness. Over the Sixers. The no
And
Embiid for
another
Philly.
one.
Cade Cunningham, 26 points, 24 of those in the second half, 11 assists. Jalen Duren with 21. Tyrese Maxey, yay, 33.7 assists. But let's talk Pistons as the #1 seed. 28 straight losses is what we were looking at a mere 2 years ago, which is hard to believe, Boogie. To the best record so far in the East. What are you thinking? We got contenders now, officially?
They're moving in the right direction. This is my type of team. If I could handpick a team that I could just join, it would be this Pistons group. They're tough.
Are you lobbying right now?
What's happening?
Is that a lobby?
I mean, I am a free agent. No, I'm kidding. But no.
You and Isaiah Stewart.
Me and Isaiah Thomas. But no, I love this young group. It's so much grit. They remind me of that Memphis team with Z-Bo, Marc Gasol, Tony Allen.
I was on that team.
Were you?
What?
Everybody
says
I was
that.
the death of it.
You didn't quite fit the identity.
R.I.P. Grit and Grind when they signed me.
But I love this young group, man. They're full of fight. They're tough. They're fearless. They're growing with each game. They're growing with each season. They have one of the top PGs in the league in Cade Cunningham. This kid is a stud, an absolute superstar. I love this young group, man. They got a lot of fight, a lot of potential, and they're definitely on the right path. As far as saying they're contenders right now, I still feel they need, to grow more.
Could they come out of the East, though?
I mean, the East is so up and down. Absolutely. I think they're one of the top teams in. Well, obviously they're the #1 team in the East right now, but they're definitely one of the top teams in the East.
This team is.
They have a chance.
Yeah, this team is so scrappy, and they absolutely clamp on the defensive end. And when you have a guy like Cade Cunningham who can put the ball in his hands at the end of games, create. He's a big guard. You can't really. You got to put like a small forward on him because he's so tall. He's so athletic. And I thought this team was going to take a hit when they lost, Beasley. They lost Hardaway. They lost some shooting. They add Duncan Robinson. They still don't have Jaden Ivey, who was kind of on that path to become the most improved player last year. And Jalen Duren has gotten better, which I can't believe that dude's 22 years old when you just look at him. Thompson has been great. Tobias Harris has kind of been up and down. Karis LeVert is kind of getting his legs under him, being that scorer off the bench. But you can't talk about this team for this long and not talk about the job J.B. Bickerstaff has done. He's my favorite coach I've ever played for. He's a player's coach. He instills confidence in you. He is just there for you on and off the court. And he's a coach that you will run through a wall for. And you can see this team is doing that. This team is having fun. This team is playing defense. This team is, it's a collective effort. You look, we always talk about the second option. I don't know who their second option is, and it doesn't matter because it's anyone's night. Put the ball in Cade Cunningham's hands and play defense, and you're going to win games, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Lou, I always think it's funny in sports. We have that thing about, pick a sport, pick a rookie. It's like, it's a losing team. He's setting up to fail. This may scar him for life, right? Then you got Cade Cunningham, who's there for a pretty bad stretch, and yet, as a fan or anybody watching the game, how much hope does it give you to see what this guy's been able to do?
Yeah, I think Detroit did it right. I think they found their guy. They found their culture changer. And now you're putting all of the right pieces around him, and you're starting to see the fruits of that, with them being number one in the East right now. I'm curious to see if that can be sustainable. Some of these veteran teams are going to wake up at some point. These vet teams, they have a fill-out period where they're trying to figure out who's doing what in the East. The Milwaukee's are a sleeper. The Knicks are still there. You can make a case for some other teams as well. But as it stands, Detroit is the number one team in the East, and a lot of that credit goes to Cunningham and what he's been able to do for the Detroit Pistons. They drafted right, and I'm glad that they're seeing it in Detroit. Like sometimes you draft the number one guy, and then 3 or 4 years later you trade him somewhere else, and he turns into the player that you always thought that he was. I'm glad that they're able to do it right here, right now with the Detroit Pistons. They have gone through some turbulence, but now that they're in the position that they're in, you can absolutely look back and say that we found our guy and we drafted the right way.
Yeah, there's a lot of question marks in the Eastern Conference, right? The Boston Celtics, they're up and down with some injuries. The Atlanta Hawks with Trae Young out, they've kind of taken a hit. The Orlando Magic have had a really, really slow start. That's a team that we thought was going to have a great start with that youth, with that kind of duo with Wagner and Paolo. You know what you get with the Pistons, and no matter who's in, who's out, you know they're going to play hard, and you know they're going to defend. Which nowadays that's going to put you in contention to win basketball games. That's exactly what they're doing. So the Eastern Conference, again, it's wide open. I don't think they're the most talented team in the East. I don't think they're the best team in the East, but it is going to be really, really hard to beat this team 4 times come playoff time.
I mean, we saw them in the playoffs last season.
Last year,
it came down to it.
And then you have a playmaker like Cade Cunningham, and you can surround him with these guys that play the right way and move without the ball. Like it's a tough task to beat this team 4 times.
One thing I think they do need to shore up a little bit is tighten that bench up some. Go get you one dynamic scorer off of that bench.
Yeah, they need one more.
Yeah, the loss of Beasley hurt them, I feel like, a little bit with some of the depth on this team, because they're one injury away from this thing falling off the rails. But if you can shore up some of that bench scoring and some of that activity off of the bench, right now some of those guys are I don't want to disrespect nobody. That ain't really my style. But they breathers right now. You come in and give the star guy 3 or 4 minutes, and then you come back in.
You call them breathers?
Breathers, because you have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to expand your role. But right now, until the numbers get there, that's what it is. And I want some of these guys to be better. I won't say anybody's name because I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but that's how they're being used. So you bring in one more guy that can come in, that can give you some real solid minutes, give you a real solid scoring, be one of those guys, a 6-man type of guy off the bench, and I think that's what makes them a real contender in my eyes.
Let's, before we go to break, let's get a little more Cade love out of this one. If he's going to give us treats, then might as well show him.
Drummond.
Out the way, Drums.
I mean, what are we thinking here?
This dude is just so good. He is good.
So calm.
At least put your arm up, Drum.
He's damn near out of,
you know what?
I don't think he was expecting that.
He's damn near out of bounds trying to block the shot.
He ain't got barked on. It's all right.
I like it.
Game on the line, too. 2-point game.
Yep.
No problem. I got it.
Exactly. We'll have a little more run it back on the other side.
Run it up, then run it back.
Let's just take a look at this one moment. I'm so glad we got this in. Woohoo! Yep, that is SENGUN on GIANNIS. That's fun. That is very. Oh, he's just.
Man.
And we'll keep it moving.
Come here.
Yep.
That's a 7-foot center against 2 really good defensive players. Come here.
That is just fun.
You reach, I teach. That's old school right there.
God,
he is really good at basketball.
I also love that he gets to play with Kevin Durant, who he loves. Like, this whole thing is just.
Kevin Durant loves him.
Right? How perfect is that? You know what? When you find your love and it's returned, it's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Talk about the chocolate, Chandler.
Let's talk about these dudes like chocolate. I bit the bullet on a $32 candy bar.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
They are have you had these things? They're like
What
cookie cake. They're cookie
It's
cake.
literally like a slice of
White
cake.
chocolate candy bars.
It's not the green stuff in the middle.
It's like a whole trend on social media.
All right, we'll bring them in.
I'll bring it tomorrow.
Yeah, but one for each.
It's
Unreal.
not that good.
Okay, we got a not good and a good. So tomorrow, Lou and I will decide.
You know Boogie don't like nothing.
Yeah.
I kind of are a
I
hater.
like you guys.
Oh.
Hey,
Yeah.
on that note.
Okay, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Run it up, then run it back. Yeah, yeah.